All right, Pat's here with his Harry Carey reading glasses today, ready to talk some baseball with us.
That's right. Speaking of Harry, I was talking to you guys about the. I wonder what's wrong here. I don't see you. Okay, there you are. I told you guys about the Vec documentary that's coming out on Showtime and the disco demolition derby stuff. And one of the cuts in there is Jimmy Pearsall talking about what crazed morons these people are that are running out of them. It is incredible that Major League Baseball would allow two loose cannons like Harry and Jimmy Pearsall to be in the same booth for like 5-6 years for the White Sox. That would never happen today. They would not be able to survive with the current Orioles management, which was upset because someone mentioned that they lost a lot to a team a year earlier.
Yes,
but Patrick, you are right. I've seen some clips in the past couple of days since the White Sox blew out their president and GM. That White Sox studio show on NBC Chicago is incredible. They are. Like the host tees up. He's pissed. He tees up Guillen. Guillen goes crazy. This is the greatest TV I've ever seen.
Says this isn't a wave your hand. This isn't a wave your hand. You got to start down on the bottom with the rookies. You got to start down and go all the way up. He was going, and then he was saying, and you got to get guys who played in the major leagues, not some guy, who can tell these guys how to succeed, which, of course, all the old timers always say is you got to have guys who played. But Ozzie is to have Reinsdorf allow Ozzie to be on the pregame show is fantastic. It's incredible. That show's ratings got to be twice as good when the White Sox are bad than when they're good, doesn't it?
So does Reinsdorf have a stake in the TV network?
Well, I think the White Sox would probably have some kind of influence, wouldn't they?
But that's the great thing. If they are the first team ever that understands, hey, let the content operate and do great content. Yes. And if they rip you, they rip you, and then you run the team over here.
This would be putting Doug Mientkiewicz on Bally's,
which we should. We should.
They should. Yes. If not in the dugout, in some form.
What's he doing now?
Not coaching his kids' team, some 15-year-old team down there, and he's doing something that allowed him to be in contact with this Jenkins guy that the Twins drafted.
Yeah.
Doogie talked to him, and he's getting his degree so he can be an actual D1 coach. He's getting a bachelor's degree. Yeah, he's actually getting his degree.
How about Dougie to replace John Anderson? That'd give you a little different fired up approach, wouldn't it?
Oh, coaching the Gophers?
Oh. Yeah, that's a possibility. How about that?
I like this. It is Reckless Speculation Thursday here.
Yes, it is. Yes. Rumor, some of the way some of these websites do it now is, will Mientkiewicz be the next Gophers baseball coach would be the headline, right?
Yeah. By the way, I saw because I get when I pull up the Edge home screen, I see the same headlines you do. There was one today that said, and I didn't click on it, but it said, Vikings connected in trade talks with $34 million quarterback. Is that what Trey Lance's overall contract is?
Must be, but it's the whole package deal. Connected just because somebody said they might have made a call to him last year.
Yeah,
that is obviously said you can have him for a 6th-round draft choice if you take some of the money, right? How does that work?
We're about to find out.
Can the other team, like the 49ers, get stuck with the whole bill in the NFL, or how's that work? I mean, in baseball you can, but I don't know if the NFL allows that, right?
In the NFL, it kind of depends, and this is where we need a Rob Brzezinski to come out from his office. Some of it depends on if bonuses were already paid and there's cap on the books for just accounting purposes versus like actual money being paid in the future. I think if there's money to be paid in the future, you can negotiate a trading team eats some of it, Judd, I think.
Okay. I'm not sure either, but I don't know. Aren't you I can't see them bringing in, he's I saw him. He's a great athlete, but you get the long arm delivery to me. He had that, Trey Lance. So
Tebow.
How can you be that wrong? I mean, you only got to see him for one season and then one game, right? He played one spring game, and then you drafted him, and then you gave up all this ammunition to get him. And you're a pretty smart organization, normally, San Francisco. Mm-hmm. But maybe Fleck was right when he said he should have been a wide receiver, and that's why they go first and recruit him. They wanted, or as a defensive back, they wanted him to play safety. That's what they wanted him to play safety. Trey Lance. Supposed to be a really nice kid. I really never met him, but it's too bad. He just obviously, if you're going to the well that they're going to as their backup quarterback, you can't do her. And this Brock Purdy, he played okay last year. He's not taking it, doing that again. He's as mediocre as you can get. So they desperately need a quarterback, I think, and Trey ain't it, supposedly.
Sam Darnold beat Trey out for the backup job.
Yes, that's what I mean. Yeah, it's incredible. There's more cases, though, of this idea. We have to get if we got one of the top 5 draft choices, we have to reach like 3 rounds to take a quarterback. Hopefully we can get that quarterback. It's, you're using a 5th round draft choice and a guy who 15 years ago it would have been a 3rd rounder, 2nd rounder. They're just Christian Ponder. He would have been a nice Wade Wilson, sit there, wait 4 years, and maybe get to play. Instead, you want him to play 6 games into the season. He had no chance. It's just this idea of getting the cheap quarterback so you can then win, right? Have that area, that window to where you can win because you're not paying your quarterback any money.
Well, what's amazing about the Niners is it is one of the biggest because they gave up 3. It was like 3 future firsts to move up to get Trey Lance, and they're fine. Like they at some point they do need a better quarterback, but it's kind of amazing how great they are at everything else, building the rest of the defense and the McCaffrey trade and everything. That they can whiff that badly, give up that many resources, and still be one of like the 4 main Super Bowl contenders.
And this is why I get upset when people tell me the Herschel Walker trade is worse than the Rudy Gobert trade. It's not even close. Herschel, you're mad because of the numbers you gave up, but they were fine with once they made that trade, and they brought in personnel and they got their draft choices, and they got a couple of players from the USFL and stuff like that, but they were fine. The draft choice in the NFL and draft choices in the NBA are very different because you're only playing 5 guys. You're not playing 22 dummies.
Yeah. So, although Anthony Edwards might just make it fine if he keep. Eric Spoelstra went on some show yesterday too and said, he's going to be Dwayne Wade, pretty much. He's
really.
Yeah, there's Steve Kerr and Eric Spoelstra who are coaching him for this FIBA team are both just like
he's not that good a shooter though. He's not as good a shooter as Dwayne Wade, but I think he's a better player. But
Wade wasn't really a 3-point shoot. Wade was more of like the first 5 or 6 years of his career was get to the rim. He shot 10 free throws a game. Until he got old. Mm-hmm. Which is Anthony Edwards could use a few more trips to the free throw line, I would say for sure.
And speaking of Dwayne Wade, are he and Gabriel Union still an item, or is that thing
commercials together?
Yeah, they're still together.
That's a pretty good career, man. You're a great NBA player, you get to win some titles, and then you marry Gabriel Union. That's what a fantastic.
She's about like 10 years older than he is too. Yes, there's definitely an age gap there.
But she's she's still high profile. So anyway. Yeah. So anyway, our Vikes yesterday, they got O'Neal back. That's pretty good, huh?
Yeah.
Came out and he played every snap.
Took part in all the team drills, which was an important
thing. Kirk lit him up, huh? Lit up the secondary, 4 long completions.
Yeah, Kirk, the vertical passing game looked great. The short passing game needs a little bit of work at times.
I disagree.
But yes, he got Jefferson, Osborne, Powell, and Rager all caught deep balls. I think the Cardinals secondary, aside from Budda Baker, might be lacking a little bit, Pat.
They're probably not going to be any good, huh? They had their window was about this wide, wasn't it? That lasted about 2 years.
Yeah.
And
Bruce Arians,
this coach, though, his resume is very shaky, isn't it, Gannon?
He's like 12 years old.
I know.
Yeah.
And he was Zim's assistant. Their whole staff is ex-Zim guys, for goodness sakes.
Yeah, exactly.
They listen. If the Bidwells still own them, right? Don't they still own them? The Bidwells still own them.
They do.
They're underrated as a horrible operators because of the Lions and stuff, and they had a couple of blips, but they were the Chicago Cardinals were just as bad as the Detroit Lions, and then the St. Louis Cardinals had three decent years with Coryell, and then and then in Arizona they've been horrible pretty much all the time.
Cardinals damn near came here, right, Pat?
Yeah,
we had Chicago Cardinals.
They were here for. They thought they were going to get him, the Chicago Cardinals, and they had him here for I think 2 regular season games in 58 or 59, 58 at Med Stadium, and they were bragging about drawing 15,000 people for these games, something like that. I would just from looking back, and they thought they were going to get him, but the guy who married the Bidwell widow. She owned the team. I don't know which one of the Bidwells died, Stormy or one of them. And he was from St. Louis, a guy named Wallner. And that's a Sid story. And so he moved him to St. Louis and instead of here. So that's how that worked. That's how that worked. Well, by now they might have cashed in and had different owners. So anyway. Yeah. That was that story. We were you go back and read the clips. A crowd of 15,000 showed up to show our love for the NFL. Come on, show up, come on and play here at Met Stadium. Of course, that was damn near capacity back then too when they first built it.
Yeah. Hey, are you buying or selling TJ Hockenson? So he's missed 3 weeks of practice now. It has been confirmed by Diana Rossini, NFL insider now at The Athletic, that the two sides have been working on a contract, but they're far apart. He's going into the last year of his contract. And so he had the ear infection. Now he's got the sore back. He has 3 weeks. He has not practiced in full yet.
Well, Judd is the one who confronted him on it. What was his response?
Well, at that point in time, he was pushing through the ear thing. It was real tough, real difficult.
That was a day before the back thing, and the ear thing was fine.
He didn't tell me his back hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah, he didn't get to the back hurt, but I don't know. It is suspicious, that's for sure. And as I said the other day, anything NFL players can do to put the pressure on management, I'm in favor of, because when push comes to shove, they're going to screw you. Just remember that anytime they can. Whatever they give you now, 3 years from now, they're going to try to take half of it back. Don't worry about that, pal. So get all you can right now, TJ, because they, any chance they can, ask my guy, Chad Greenway. Chad, you got to take half the money we promised you because you're not going to play that much. And then you play 400 plays and they don't give you the money back. They don't give you anything. They just tough bananas, buddy.
Chad was such a nice guy too. It was like 4 years in a row. They're like, we're kind of up against the cap. What can we do? Let's call Chad again.
Let's screw Chad again. So.
Harrison Smith now, same exact thing.
Yeah.
Just slashed his contract. Said, hey, you want to come back? You're going to take a lot less.
How big a hit do you have to take? Do they know? Do we know?
I don't remember, but I think it's fairly substantial compared to what he was supposed to make, because he was good. He was being paid like a top safety.
Yeah. Well, it's the fact they can still get away with this, and they're going to get away with, as we talked about the other day, they're going to get away with adding an 18th game, and the players are going to get nothing of substance out of it except another $20 or something.
Yeah. I mean, they'll be able to feed their families and whatnot, but it is, the league has a lot of leverage in the arm wrestling match for sure. Yeah.
So, gentlemen, have we counted our AL Central championship before the reality of the situation?
What are we down to now? Is it 4?
We're 4.5 over Cleveland, but they got the Dodgers, so you got to think it'll be 5. They'll probably split today if they're lucky. They play them too because that game got suspended yesterday. Mm-hmm. But the Tigers 7 back, and they have the tiebreaker because there's no 163 anymore. Right. It's regular season. It's regular season, And the Tigers, these guys, they managed to trade Jorge Lopez, who was terrible, and get a worse pitcher. They managed to do that, right? They gave up on Jorge, my guy Jorge, who I hate to admit was my guy, was terrible. He's getting them out most of the time in Miami now. And the guy you got is god awful, and he had been god awful for 2 or 3 weeks before you traded for him. So that's and mark down another one for our fellas. The only guy they could get was him, and Floro. He's unusable. Now Pagan comes in, and when you really, really want him to get some outs, he gives up a home run. So
that's his career. Yeah, that's literally his career.
Theobar hadn't been that good since he came back. So they're down. And then Johan, you try to get 2 innings out of Johan. They had Winder warming up for the 10th, and they decided to run poor Johan out there again, and they end up getting beat. So I don't know. We might be overconfident. Texas coming to town with that good hitting.
6 consecutive losses.
I was looking up Carly. They got a concert after the game. Carly Pierce.
Pierce. Yeah.
I'd never heard of her, but I was looking her up. She's
pretty good.
Hits. She was the female singer of the year just a year ago, and you get to watch her for free. I was trying to figure out why the game was at 6:10 and not 6:40, and it turns out it's because of Carly Pierce.
That's great. Yeah, the new extra innings rules allows you to pretty reliably put concerts at the end of the night because the game's not going to be 4 hours.
And they're going to start a little early. And so what do they do when they have a post game concert? She give you an hour maybe?
So T-Pain played for like an hour. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
So they've done that's. It's to attract a younger crowd, I would imagine, huh?
Yeah. Cole Swindell played last year, and it was like 2 hours. He was on there for like almost 2 hours last year, excuse me.
But to get them more interested, hey, this is a nice place to go, even if there's not a concert. Is that what it is? It's promotional type of thing.
It's mostly just a cash grab. They leave the bar open, and they get 5,000 or 10,000 more fans to come to the game. And
okay, all right, well, good for them.
I don't know that I don't know that the people that are going to like the Cole Swindell or the Carly Pierce concert that aren't baseball fans are there thinking like, I got to come back for that Royals series.
Right.
Especially the beer prices.
John,
yeah.
They're gonna take once again. They're stealing another idea from you. They're gonna try Julian at first base, huh?
It's not my idea. I was fearful of this. I expressed my concerns earlier with Dukes. These idiots are going to put him at first base in like the seventh
positionless baseball. Game. What if Julian can be a starting pitcher and you can have him also take the DH out?
Yeah,
Julian.
At
first base, it is very important to catch the ball, which is what he doesn't do well. So that would be, it's the easiest position allegedly, but you still have to catch the ball. And we've also seen the downside of having somebody who can't scoop the ball out of the dirt once in a while, right? There's been a few plays blowing in that situation, but they were ahead 5-1 yesterday, 5-1 one time, 6-3 for sure. I don't know. I think they were ahead 5-1 and blew that one. So I don't know about them. We'll see.
Epic collapse. 64 Phillies, 69 Cubs.
Not. Yes, but those teams were actually trying to win something.
Yeah, this is true.
To win the Central. You can't be accused. You can be ridiculed for losing the Central, but it can't be an epic collapse because you've never gotten high enough to collapse. You've been mediocre as hell.
Correct. You've only climbed about halfway up the building, so you're not falling.
You're right.
All right, Pat. Well, we got to run. We got to get Judd's camp notes rocking on Purple Daily, but we'll talk to you again tomorrow, sir.
All right, gentlemen. See you.
Goodbye. All right, there's Reusse Unchained, presented by our friends over at Power Lodge and Miller Marine. So Power Lodge celebrating 25 years of bringing action and excitement to Minnesota as your go-to destination for all things marine and power sports. 25 days of deals on the latest off-road and on-road vehicles. Stop in to any of the Power Lodge locations in Brainerd, Ramsey, Anemia, or Sauk Rapids, or go to powerlodge.com.